It's been a while since we've gotten together, so it's good to get hooked back up between us, and we're getting back into the Word of God. Hey, let me ask you a question. If you are going to get married to a spouse, um, if you knew that spouse would cheat on you or go be intimate with somebody else, would you marry them? Well, a prophet of God did. We're going to talk about that today. Hi, I'm Pastor Mark, and I'm with Heights Christian Church. What we're doing as a body of believers is we are going through the Bible in 5 years. And so we are beginning the Minor Prophet study, and we would love very much if you would subscribe to this channel and get notifications on a daily basis, at least 6 days a week, about the reading scripture, and we do it together, and we would love for you to do it. So please subscribe to the channel and be a part of it with us. We would love for you to do that. Well, today we are starting the Minor Prophets. We've already done Daniel in a previous study earlier on, and we are starting in the book of Hosea. Hosea is a word, actually, it can also be transliterated Hosea, much like Joshua, which means God saves. And so Hosea has got some things to say to us. So let's read chapter 1 together as a body of believers, and let's find out what we can learn about it today. Chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Hosea, son of Beeri, during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and during the reign of Jeroboam, son of Jehoash, king of Israel. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, "Go, marry a promiscuous woman, and have children with her, for like an adulterous wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord." So he married Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Call him Jezreel, because I will soon punish the house of Jehu for the massacre at Jezreel, and I will put an end to the kingdom of Israel. In that day I will break Israel's bow in the valley of Jezreel." Gomer conceived again and gave birth to a daughter. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Call her Rohumah," which means not loved. "For I will no longer show love to Israel, that I should at all forgive them. Yet I will show love to Judah, and I will save them, not by bow, sword, or battle, or by horses or horsemen, but I, the Lord their God, will save them." After she had weaned Lo-Ruhamah, Gomer had another son. Then the Lord said, "Call him Lo-Ammi," which means not my people. For you are not my people, and I am not your God. Yet the Israelites will be like the sand on the seashore, which cannot be measured or counted. In the place where it was said to them, "You are not my people," they will be called children of the living God. The people of Judah and the people of Israel will come together, and they will appoint one leader, and will come out of the land, for great will be the day of Jezreel. All right, so we've read chapter 1 of Hosea, and a few things we have to point out about the prophet Hosea. If you notice, and if you know anything about the Bible, Hosea was a prophet during the same time as maybe a more well-known prophet, and that is Isaiah. Isaiah began his ministry at the day that Uzziah died, King Uzziah, and he all the way through to at least at least through Hezekiah, and maybe into the next Judean king, Manasseh. We believe that he may have been killed by Manasseh. But anyway, so that was Isaiah. But during this same time, Hosea is a prophet. But Hosea is not a prophet for the kingdom of Judah. He is the kingdom. He is the prophet for the kingdoms in the northern tribes, the northern 10 tribes called Israel. And so he is reigning during the time of actually pretty great prosperity during Jeroboam the second in Israel. Jeroboam pretty much extended the kingdom of Israel to the point even during the time of David and Solomon. So he was very good. There was a lot of economic growth. There was a lot of expansion of the kingdom. And so during that time of pretty good success, Hosea is beginning to speak to the kingdom of Israel that they are going to be destroyed. And so, there's one thing to be a prophet during times of bad, and people will tend to listen to you because they believe that maybe God's punishing them. But to be a prophet during the time when there's great prosperity, people don't necessarily listen to you very well. And this is one of the things that Hosea has to struggle with, honestly. And he has three kids. Now, the first two, we're pretty sure Hosea was the father of the first boy, Jezreel, and the first daughter, Lo-Ramah. But the way the wording goes for the third son, we're not sure if Hosea is the father, because Gomer has been unfaithful, just like Israel is unfaithful to the God that restored him and set them up. They are interested in following other gods, and that's sort of God's point. And he says that Israel is going to be scattered, and that is the reason why he names his first son Jezreel, because Jezreel, the word, means God scatters. And so what God is predicting through the prophet Hosea is that Israel will be scattered to other nations, and that's exactly what happens. But I do want to point out, even though God is pronouncing judgment on the king of Israel and on the kingdom of Israel, the people of Israel, he says this at the end of chapter 1, which is really, really interesting. He says this: "Yet the Israelites will be like the sand of the seashore, which cannot be measured or counted. In the place where it was said to them, 'You are not my people,' they will be called children of the living God. The people of Judah and the people of Israel will come together. They will appoint one leader and will come out of the land, for great will be the day of Jezreel." So even though God is exacting punishment to the people of Israel, the kingdom of Israel, because of their unfaithfulness to him, that God will restore them in the future times. And not only that, Israel being scattered, the name Jezreel, they will be reunited with the people of Judah and be one kingdom and have one leader. And that leader will be Jesus, the King, everlasting King from the line of David. So even though there's a pronunciation of judgment that God gives the kingdom of Israel, he still has grace that eventually there will be a change. People that are not my people will become people of the living God. And I am so loving the fact that, even though we are sinners, but we've been saved by grace, by God who has done his part, and Jesus paying the debt of penalty for the sin that we've done. So that's just showing God's great mercy, great grace, even in the pronunciation of judgment. And that's my encouragement for you today. I hope you have a great one. I'm glad we're back together, and we will talk to you tomorrow.